Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 22 rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the New England Patriots, but with the new addition of Devante Parker. Now, if we're all being real with ourselves here, Devante Parker, he's a pretty above average receiver. I don't think he's talked about enough. It's just in Madden, he's 29. And with their regression system in Madden, I don't think he's going to be kept around for long. In real life, I don't think the Patriots do plan on keeping him long term either. I see him being with the Patriots at 3 years maximum. I honestly think he's going to stay there for 2 years. So I don't think he's going to be a long-term option, but it's just another excuse for me to make a rebuild. So let's get into it. I haven't done a Patriots rebuild in a little bit. So we got Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, and Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers definitely the most underrated out of the group. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is a guy I plan to get rid of off this team soon because in Madden, he's just not useful whenever I have Hunter Henry. I'm not going to be paying a second string tight end $15 million a year. It's just that simple. In real life, I can see the Patriots using this double tight end scheme, but Jonnu Smith was honestly probably disappointing for a lot of Patriots fans this year. Hunter Henry, though, on the other hand, that was a great success for the Patriots, but Jonnu Smith was not involved as people thought he would. So I'm going to be staying in a 3-4 scheme because people get mad at me when I switch to a 4-3. 4-3 schemes are significantly more dominant in Madden, but people whine and cry like they always do anytime I do something that they don't like. So I'm going to be staying in this scheme. They don't have J.C. Jackson anymore, Malcolm Butler. I had to import in this game myself because the game just removed him entirely for some reason. I don't know why he just wasn't sitting in free agency for EA. But if you guys do want these rosters that I currently have updated, I make these rosters personally myself. So go check them out. Link in my description on how to get them. And yeah, let's continue to get back into this team. Jalen Mills here. I forgot the Green Goblin was here. Jabril Peppers, they just got from the Giants. I moved him to middle linebacker because we have Devin McCourty, Kyle Duggar, who's been pretty solid for the Patriots so far. There's no other place. They already said they plan to scheme him more of an outside linebacker, like a coverage linebacker. But considering we're in a 3-4, I moved him to middle linebacker. So Jabril Peppers is going to play middle linebacker. Little undersized at 5'11", 213, but he's going to have to do because that's what we have him at. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is now time to jump into this draft. And here we are with our first pick, Jameson Williams. I personally think that the Patriots are going to go with the Ohio State receiver, Chris Olave, I believe is how you pronounce it. If I did pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry. I think that's who they're going to go for, but unfortunately, if you look at this, I guess it's gone now. And also, obviously, the Patriots don't have the right pick in this draft. None of this draft order is correct. I'm just going off what I personally think this team will go with, which is wide receiver. The Titans right before me picked the receiver, Chris Olave, right before me. So I went with Jameson Williams here. So that's fine the way it is. Again, all this draft order is completely out of whack. Malik Willis still on the board. Devin Lloyd is still on the board. David Ajabo. Trent McDuffie should not be here on this board. He should have been well gone by now. But I can't control what EA simulation does. So apart from that, let's get to our next pick. Here we are after the draft, and Jameson Williams is below N'Keal Harry. That's quite the joke. Jameson Williams is going to be our starting receiver just because he has the most potential out of everyone here on this roster, even though in real life, I think Devante Parker will be the starting guy. Jacoby Myers is going to be our third here. Nelson Aguilar is going to be our fourth. Kendrick Bourne is going to be at the bottom here. Specialist looking into it. Jameson, no, we're going to have Jacoby start in the slot, and Williams back up there. Uche is going to start, or Uche, Josh, either way, is what I'm going to call him. He's going to start as our rush right end. Christian Barmore, rush defensive tackle. Judon, rush left end. And yeah, Adrian Phillips, sure, he can be my slot. Defensively, this is my second round pick. He doesn't seem that good, but I'm going to start him over Jalen Mills just because he, I guess, is just younger and maybe has more potential. But anyways, this is our 3-4 scheme going into our first season in this simulation with Jameson Williams. So it's time to move in to the midseason mark. And here we are at the midseason as we are 2-4. What is the problem with our team, please? And the game just spazzed out on me. Okay. What is the problem with our team is my original question. Seems the offense is what is doing bad. 19th in passing. Let's change this up. I think I had it in Tampa Bay's offense. Let's change this up. Oh, Jameson Williams has superstar dev. That's sick. Okay. We're going to change this to Kansas City's because it just seems to always work better. I usually run Baltimore's defense because that seems to work best for me. We have a top 10 defense right now, so we're going to rock with Kansas City's to see if we can turn around the second half of the season. What do we got here? Trent Brown, of course. I would love to have you back. Long-term deal, please. Good stuff. He's no longer getting paid $18 million a year. Now it's only $10 million a year. Damian Harris, yes, I would like you back as well. I never want to pay running back more than $8 million a year. I think it's just a waste. Jonathan Jones, how long? 1 year? Yes, I will do a 1 year deal just because you're 28 and you'll start regression. So I should have done that for 2 years probably, but it is what it is. Isaiah Wynn, I do want. Wow, this is actually pretty cheap for a left tackle of his potential. Juan Bentley, I don't know if I want to do that for 3 years, so I'm back out. I would have done it for 2. Nelson Aguilar, no. Jake Bailey, sure. Why not? I mean, I guess I can pick up a punter cheaper in free agency, but it really doesn't matter. Devon Godshaw, no. N'Keal Harry, God, no. Yeah, no one here. Yeah, you chose, as a Ravens fan, we chose Marquise Brown over DK Metcalf, which wasn't a horrible choice, I guess, but you guys seriously chose N'Keal Harry over DK Metcalf. Anyways, apart from that, it's now time to move to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs as our offense took a turnaround, but our defense said no. Screw it. Let's go from top 10 to 26th best defense in the league. 7-10 missing the playoffs. All right then, EA. Thank you for your quality game. Oh, 3-4 schemes are so much better than 4-3. That's what I hear in my comments. 7th best offense in the NFL, 17th best defense. That's not even bad. So, I might want to move into a 4-3 scheme, but I'm sure people in the comments will get mad at me. 4,900 yards, 31 TDs, 20 interceptions is completely unacceptable. Damian Harris, 14 TDs, 4.3 per carry, 1,000 yards. That's actually solid. Jameson Williams, 1,300 yards, 5 TDs. Great, amazing rookie season. Jacob Myers, 6 TDs, 1,100 yards. Devante Parker, almost 1,000 yards, 5 TDs. Hunter Henry, 11 TDs, almost 800 yards. Good stuff. Looking at it defensively, Jabril Peppers, 123 tackles. That's surprising. Tackles for a loss, 15 for, who was that? Josh, sacks, 10 for Judon, interceptions, 2 for Kyle Duggar, lackluster on total interceptions, 0 safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns. So, disappointing end to the season. At least the offense turned around, though. So it's now time to move in to the offseason. And the Chiefs beat the Vikings in the Super Bowl. That's new. There are no Patriots here for any awards, so let's see if there is any offensive upgrades. I'm assuming Mac Jones, no, because of those interceptions. Yeah, he doesn't get one. Williams, superstar, he's going to start, especially since he's my highest rated receiver after year 1. Defensively, looking into it, we got no upgrades offensively or defensively. That is quite disappointing. We're going to move into the re-sign players here to see who we have to re-sign. And I'm still really debating moving into a 4-3, especially now that Matthew Judon has regressed. I'm honestly really debating that. So 2022 retirements, let's see who we have here. We are going to have AFC East. It looks like Brian Hoyer retires, our third string QB. Okay, that's cool. Let's go to the players ready to negotiate here. We are going to have Juan Bentley, no. Nelson Aguilar, no. Everyone here, I already said no, and if you hear me kind of yawning, sorry about that, but it's now time to move to free agency with $56 million to spend. After free agency, we got Jeffrey Simmons, so I'm now debating with the 4-3 scheme again because of Matthew Judon, and then Matthew Judon regressing. Marcus Peters on a cheap deal, got him for 2 years. Sean Murphy-Bunting got long-term, and Rashad Fenton I got long-term. Secondary is solidified. I might want to get a middle linebacker in the draft, so let's move into it. In the draft at pick number 9, David Mathis is going to be my pick. Hidden development, 88 speed out of Florida. Good stuff. He's going to solidify our defense, really. In the second round, I'm picking up a guard, Khalid Davidson, 6'5", out of Texas, hidden development. Here we are after the draft, as Khalid Davidson is a 76 overall that I picked up in the second round. What a pick. Amazing offensive line, especially with that. So it was already good to start with. Jonnu Smith, I'm looking to trade soon. Defensively, Mathis is only 70 overall, but he's going to start over Tavai here. Devin McCourty, I'm going to need to replace Devin McCourty soon. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might just find his replacement now with Jonnu Smith, and I think that's actually what I'm going to do. Try and trade away Jonnu Smith and just go snag a free safety. And there it is. Jonnu Smith and a 5th-round pick gets me Jalen Thompson from the Arizona Cardinals. So that is an immediate upgrade. 85 overall star dev with the boost. Devin McCourty, I love you, but you're gonna have to sit out for this year. Unfortunately, he's gonna be a second string. How much would it take to cut him? We would save money, but I'm just gonna keep him as a second string. No harm, no foul there. And Jeffrey Simmons gonna play the left end specialist. Who do we have? Jeffrey Simmons, Matthew Judon. Good stuff. I like everything we got. I'd rather not have Adrian Phillips play my sub-middle linebacker. In fact, I'm going to forcefully order the depth chart to where Mathis plays it. Okay, I don't know why I just didn't scroll down one, but I'm going to forcefully order the depth chart to where Mathis plays at sub-linebacker, which I already scrolled past. Where is he? Mathis is all the way down here. Oh my gosh, that's quite the ways down. So move him here. He's going to play second string there. Phillips is going to be the third string. So it's now time to move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we are 4-2, top of the division, a lot better from last year, coming off a blowout win against the New York Jets. Weekly awards, who was great against the Jets? It looks like Mac Jones had 4 passing touchdowns, 317 yards, got sacked once. Jabril Peppers had 6 tackles and a pick 6. That is sick to see. Anyways, we're going to look into the players ready to negotiate here. We could still lose the division, keep that in mind. Hunter Henry, even though he is 28 and he is starting regression, still I do want to keep him around. He's a 90 overall, so he probably won't drop below an 80 throughout this rebuild. Kyle Duggar, yes please. He's already 27. That's interesting. So we are going to re-sign him, and he re-signs. Mike Anonwu, whatever, Mike. You know what I mean. I don't know how you pronounce some of these last names. I'm really bad with pronouncing it, as you guys know if you're new to my channel or anything. Jabril Peppers, I would like to re-sign as well. That is going to be a $6.7 million deal a year. Jonathan Jones, again, I wish I said I signed him for 2 years, so I'm going to do that this time, actually. And $6.9 million. I think I signed him for $8 million on that 1 year deal last season, so this is better. Josh, I would like you. I would like you back, yeah, for sure. And he resigns. Even though he is depth at edge rusher, it's fine. Devin McCourty, no. Devante Parker, a 1 year deal. No, I don't want to do that. Can I lower the contract and boost the money for 1 year? Yeah, he resigns on that 1 year. I'm glad they changed that in Madden last year. In Madden 21, Madden 20, it doesn't matter if you offered them like $15 million a year. If they wanted 4 years and you gave them 3 years and $15 million a year, they would be like, nah, I'm not signing. They would be so pissed about it. So I'm glad they finally changed that. Everyone else here is just a no for me. So apart from that, guys, I would say it's now time to move in to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a loss to the Bengals as we're 11-6, top of the division, here to face the 10-7 division rivals, the Miami Dolphins, who have Tyreek Hill. And yeah, our team did very good, even though our defensive points per game was 24th. I think overall we probably did better than that if we look at our stats and awards. Mac Jones did amazing. 3rd best offense in the NFL. Mac Jones, top 5 for MVP. I think he should be the MVP. Most passing yards, 2nd most passing touchdowns, top 10 passer rating. 3rd best offense, 15th best defense isn't even bad. 5,500 yards, 45 TDs, 15 interceptions, and 69% completion percentage. Nice. Damian Harris, 12 TDs, 3.8 per carry is not good, but 1,000 yards, sure. Jacoby Myers, 1,800 yards and 14 TDs. Amazing season with 116 receptions. Jamison Williams, 1,200 yards, 10 TDs. Hunter Henry, 9 TDs, 990 yards. Devante Parker, disappointing from last season. Even though Devante Parker was in the same role as last season, he was not moved down the depth chart or anything. Damian Harris had more receptions and more receiving yards than who? What is Kendrick Bourne still on this team? No, I guess I let him go to free agency, or someone, or the CPU cut him. Whatever. Anyways, I'm surprised Damian Harris has that many reception yards. Jabril Peppers, 122 tackles for a loss, 17 for Jeffrey Simmons, sacks, 11.5 for Christian Barmore. That's surprising. Jeffrey Simmons, 9.5, Judon, 8. That's not good. Interceptions, that's not good for how much I'm paying him. Jabril with 4 interceptions. He should get superstar dev. Safeties, 1 for Jeffrey Simmons. Defensive touchdowns is 2 for Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers should definitely get superstar dev. Same thing with Jacoby Myers. We're going to see if we can beat the Miami Dolphins to move on to the divisional round. Can we do it? And we do. 36-21, here to face the 12-5 Tennessee Titans, who probably had the first seed. Let's see what we got. And we beat them. 24-21, barely winning here to face the 10-7 Indianapolis Colts, who have superstar X Factor Jonathan Taylor. So let's move into this game. Here we are against the Indianapolis Colts as it is 3-0 to start off on our opening drive. Now 3-7, Colts are up, and we are playing at our home stadium too. 14-3, 14-6. Come on, offense, do something. Offense, please function. Offense, 27-6. Hello, are you there? 34-6. 37-13 is going to be your final score because our offense didn't wake up the entirety of the game, and the defense realized it and we're like, you know what, we give up. And who else is going to beat us? Tom Brady on the Colts beats his former team as Mac Jones had a 48 passer rating. So to give you a perspective of how bad a 48 passer rating is, if the quarterback hiked the ball and spiked it into the ground 40 times in a row and went over 40 with a 0% completion percentage, then they would have a passer rating of 39. Mac Jones got a 48. Horrible passer rating. Tom Brady's going to go back to another Super Bowl with the Colts. Let's get to the offseason. And it was all for nothing, as I believe maybe Jimmy G got his revenge. I don't know, maybe that was Trey Lance against Tom Brady. So Tom Brady got blown out in the Super Bowl, kind of like how we got blown out in the conference championship. There are no awards here for the New England Patriots. Let's look at the rosters to see if there is any development upgrades. Jacoby Myers, show it to me. He has superstar dev. Mac Jones has superstar dev as well. No surprise there. Might want to keep re-signing Devante Parker because he is still a solid option. I mean, he was a little bit underwhelming this season, but it's fine. Davidson is already an 82 overall. That's great to see. Mathis is a star dev. Judon, I'm going to be looking to replace. And yeah, everyone else here looks the exact same. We're going to move into the re-signed players here and see what we got. So now that I think about it, what do I want to replace with Matthew Judon? Maybe just someone in the draft. I don't think I necessarily want to participate in free agency because I need to save the money for Mac Jones re-signing. So 2023 retirements. Let's see what we got here for the AFC East. Von Miller on the Bills, and offensive coordinator for the Dolphins retires. So apart from that, guys, we're going to look into the players ready to negotiate to see who we have here. Devin McCourty already said no. He's down to a 75 overall. Yikes, dude. I would be paying him $2 million a year to come back. No thanks. Everyone else here is just a no. And I think I'm going to skip out on free agency because I'm just mainly focused on the draft here. And I want to have enough money to pay Mac Jones in this upcoming season. So I'm going to simulate to the draft. In round 1, I'm picking up Damon Stewart to replace Matthew Judon. He doesn't seem all that impressive. I'm picking at pick 30. Now that I realize it, Mac Jones actually gets a 5th-year option, so I actually don't need to worry about re-signing him. So I should have participated in free agency, but I did it. I didn't, so it's whatever. Here we are after the draft, as it looks like we didn't really have that good of an offseason. Offensively, we didn't really do much, and defensively, Stewart is a 65 overall. What a bust, dude. Just really bad on my part. We'll admit that's my fault, obviously. He's a right end, and Jeffrey Simmons is also a right end, so I'm going to officially move him to left end, so that way the CPU can register it. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with Matthew Judon. I probably won't have him by the end of the season just because I think his contract expires. I don't need to worry about Mac Jones now that I think about it after coming off the offseason, because Mac Jones should have a 5th-year option. I didn't take it over the offseason because I just simulated to the draft. So I'm probably going to have to force that 5th-year option. So apart from that, guys, it's time to move in to the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark as we were 6-1, top of the division. We are getting better every single season, coming off a barely won game against the Seahawks. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to phrase it. We barely are coming off a win against the Seahawks. At weekly awards, what do we have here? Mac Jones, 2 passing touchdowns, got sacked 4 times. With our offensive line, that's completely unacceptable. 478 yards, though. That's cool. Looks like the Ravens have a cool defensive back. Winslow, 10 tackles, 1 interception. That's cool. Don't know if he's actually in the real-life draft or if that's a CPU-generated player from this year's draft in Madden. So, what do we got here? Mac Jones already expressed it. I can just give him his 5th-year option. I don't need to worry about this contract. So, I will do that in this simulation. Come on, please load. And he is finally loaded in. So, how many years do I have left to do this simulation? I believe I should have one more. Christian Barmore, of course, I want back. He's a 2nd-round pick, so I can't give him a 5th-year option. They gave my dude a triple chin. Look at this. Look how disrespectful. Look at his neck, bro. He has a triple neck. Anyways, David Andrews, Even though he does start regression, I believe, in this next upcoming season, I'm going to spread out his deal and still give him a big contract. Here he signs Marcus Peters. I'll do a 1-year deal. Yeah, I'll for sure do that. He probably won't drop below an 80 overall. And he resigns Matthew Judon. No. Devante Parker. And the entire point of this rebuild is to keep Devante Parker around to see how he develops. So, sure, even though he will regress probably to like a 76 overall, the point of this rebuild is Devante Parker. So I'm going to keep him around. Why not? Even though it goes against what I said at the beginning of the video, which he was probably going to last 2 years. Doesn't matter. Let's move in to the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs coming off a win to the Dolphins as we are here to face the Titans in the wildcard round. Ooh, Patriots fans, you getting flashbacks from that pick 6 that ended the game? And then the Titans went on to beat the Ravens? Because I know I get flashbacks of the Titans beating the Ravens. And then they lost in the conference championship against the Chiefs, but it's fine. 12-5 top of division. Looks like nobody else in our division made the playoffs. Surprisingly, the Bills went 7-10. Anyway, stats and awards. Let's see who we have here. Mac Jones did great again. Probably won't be MVP because EA. Best offense in the NFL. Top 10 defense, finally. 5,200 yards, 36 TDs, 11 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. I don't know if I'm ever phrasing that correctly. Damian Harris, 16 TDs, 4.4 per carry, 1,100 yards. Great season, actually. Jacoby Myers, almost 2,000 yards, 1,900 yards, 128 receptions, 13 TDs. That's X Factor. Hunter Henry, 4 TDs, 1,000 yards. Devante Parker, 823, 8 TDs. Jameson Williams, huge down year. Did worse than Devante Parker. 7 TDs, 802. Rookie season was his best season by far. Defensively, Jabril Peppers, 133 tackles. I forgot to give him superstar development. He definitely earned it from that last season. Tackles for a loss, 19 for Wise. Wow, that's surprisingly. 1 sack, though, from him. Sacks, 13 from Jeffrey Simmons, 6 for Christian Barmore. Josh, 5.5. Judon, 3.5 sacks. That's disappointing for a starting role. Interceptions, 3 for Sean Murphy-Bunting and Rashad Fenton. Safeties on the team is going to be 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So anyways, guys, apart from that, it is time to see if we can beat the Tennessee Titans to move on to the divisional round. We beat them in the divisional round in the last simulation year. So let's see if we can do it again. We do. 35-28. I'm surprised. We're probably going to lose here to the Jaguars. Can we beat them kind of like how the Patriots did in real life in the conference championship? We do. 24-23, barely skimming by. Now let's see if we can beat the 11-6 Cincinnati Bengals to actually move on to the Super Bowl this time. They have a lot of X factors, including J.J. Watt. Here we are against the Cincinnati Bengals. Their opening drive, 3-0, 3-3 now, 10-3, 10-10. Good stuff. Offense has actually woken up. 10-17, our first lead of the game. 17-17 at half. 24-17, 24-20. 31-20. I like that 2 possession separation. 3 possession separation now. 38-20 and 38-20 will be your final score as we are going to be moving on to the Super Bowl, and this is already considered a successful rebuild. Here we are in the Super Bowl, here to face Jonnu Smith and Jalen Thompson's former teams are clashing here as we did make the trade with them. So I want to see if Jonnu Smith continues to remain on the Cardinals. Let's see here. Tight end, Jonnu Smith is the tight end of the Arizona Cardinals. He's looking to get his revenge here. Jalen Thompson is looking to get his revenge on the Cardinals. Any offensive upgrades, Mac Jones is a superstar X Factor, and Jacoby Myers is also a superstar X Factor. But, he hasn't even started regression yet. Jameson Williams has just progressed so quickly. Anyways, it looks like Devante Parker, since we re-signed him, he will get a chance to win a Super Bowl. The defense looking into it. Jabril Peppers, I'm going to give him superstar dev. I should have given it to him last season. Like last season, he had 133 tackles, like 4 interceptions, 2 defensive touchdowns. This season, he didn't do as good, but he should have had it in the first place. So I'm going to forcefully give him that superstar dev that he deserves. Great pickup for the Patriots. Anything else here? No, there's nothing else. So apart from that, guys, we're going to see if we can beat the Arizona Cardinals to officially win this Super Bowl and take over this rebuild. Here we are against the Arizona Cardinals in the Super Bowl, and we don't capitalize on our first drive, but the Cardinals do. 7-0, now 7-3, 3-14, 10-14, 10-21, 13-21, 13-24 at the half. What do we got here? Come on, drive down the field, please. 21-24, fourth quarter, getting close. Why did you punt? Why would we punt there? We punted at the 50 when we were down by 3. Please, third down. Come on, big field goal. I'm going to have to do this myself. 4th and 6. Yeah, no, I'm going for the win. I'm going to do it myself. 28-24 is your current score, as I did score. Oh my gosh, what? How? How did you let up that many yards? It's literally been 11 seconds. It's been 11 seconds. Do your job. What is happening? Come on now, bro. Like, y'all, this is so irritating. I mean, they can take that all day. I'll just commentate this since it's considerably 12 seconds left. But the game, like, I hate this, dude. 11 seconds and they drive all the way down the field. This is why I have to hop into the games, because the game is just like, no, I'm good. So, anyways, 6 seconds left. No, that's going to be the game. They can't get the clock off because they ran out of timeouts and decided to do a QB scramble, kind of like how the Cowboys did in real life. We're going to win the Super Bowl and take over this rebuild 28-24 against the Cardinals, and successful rebuild. And Mac Jones wins the Super Bowl MVP. There are no other awards here for the New England Patriots. We already looked at the roster and the roster upgrades. We have $59 million to spend in free agency. Oh yeah, that's because we don't have to pay a quarterback $40 million a year. We will in this upcoming season, but I won't have to worry about it because it's the 4th and final season. 2024 retirements. Let's see what we got for the AFC East. And wow, Devin McCourty does not retire as a Patriot. If I was Devin McCourty, I would immediately retire. He is a second string to Jalen Thompson. Same thing with Matthew Judon. And wait, no, I didn't re-sign Devin McCourty in the last season. Man, sucks to be him that he didn't get to win another one. Let's move to free agency. Here we are after free agency. I got Stephon Tuitt to get a new edge rusher and a replacement for Matthew Judon. Still might go outside linebacker in the draft. Evan McPherson at kicker and Byron Jones as a depth DB. He's actually going to be our second string DB, considering how low of an overall the rest of our DBs are. So let's move to the draft. In the draft, I'm picking another left outside linebacker who, again, doesn't seem to be good. I'm just terrible at picking edge rushers. Emmett Frazier. I know he has F zone coverage, but I need him to be a pass rusher. He has D man coverage. Again, need him to be a pass rusher. I saw C finesse moves, C power moves, B hit power, B impact block, and B stamina, and A injury. And I was like, that seems pretty solid for a pass rusher. But apparently the game doesn't care. He's a power rusher archetyped, and he seems to be a total bust. So anyways, guys, it's now time to move in to the end of the draft. Here we are after the draft, and this is what the team looks like going in to the 4th and final season. Still have Devante Parker. Wow. The CPU is just better at drafting than me. Rashad Kirkland. I'm assuming they picked him up in the 2nd round. 75 overall, hidden dev edge rusher. That's amazing to me that the CPU is just that good. Okay. Anyways, where's my guy? He was worse than Stewart. Wow. I am just so bad at picking edge rushers. Anyways, I'm glad I can just scoop him up in free agency, or else I would be screwed on those. Kirkland is probably going to be a second string. He's not even in the depth? What? How? Okay, that's wasted potential, but alright, I guess I'll have to deal with it. And yeah, offensively, this is what we got. We're looking pretty good. We don't need to re-sign anybody at the midseason mark because it is the 4th and final season, so let's skip into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs coming off of a 59-7 blowout win. Wow. The Patriots really took that do or die thing really seriously, as it looks like Trevor Finney, a defensive back from the Jaguars, is 95 overall X Factor at the bottom of my screen there, as you can see. But we took the division. I think we slipped in over the Bills. Yeah, the Bills didn't make the playoffs. We get the 4th seed because we won in our crappy division. Probably the 2nd worst season we had. The 1st worst season was our 1st season, and we went 7-10. Mac Jones still did pretty solid. 4th best offense in the league, 4th best defense in the league, and we went what? 4th best offense, 4th best defense, and we went 9-8. 4,800 yards, 32 TDs, 16 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. Damian Harris, 14 touchdowns, 5.9 per carry is actually ridiculous. 1,400 yards. Wow. That's a superstar development. Devante Parker finally shows up. 1,300 yards, 11 TDs, finally paying off. I'm glad I kept him for this final season. Hunter Henry, 953, 5 TDs. Jamison Williams, it's still a good season, but again, his rookie season was so good in the simulation. Jacoby Myers was underwhelming for an X Factor. Looking at it defensively, Jabril Peppers, 133 tackles for a loss, 17 for Christian Barmore, sacks, 11.5 for Josh, and Stephon Tuitt with 10, Jeffrey Simmons only with 8, and I think he's like a 99 overall X Factor. David Mathis finally developing 2 interceptions, Duggar with 2, Rashad Fenton with 2 as well. Safeties, 0. Defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I would say it's time to simulate this wild card round against the Jacksonville Jaguars to see if we can move on to the divisional round, and we do. 42-21, the Patriots don't mess around in the playoffs. You had to face the 11-6 Indianapolis Colts to move on to the conference championship, and we finally lost 20-14. That's going to do it for this video and this rebuild. It was a successful rebuild because we did win the Super Bowl with the Patriots. This is the overlook of the team for anyone wondering. Very successful rebuild in my eyes. Very happy with what we got. A rookie was only a star dev, but it doesn't really matter considering the rest of the team was great. So apart from that, guys, I thank you guys all for watching. Tell me which team you'd like me to rebuild next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.